What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at I think 10 or 11 different cryptos or requests from the members. If you haven't already done so, join the Telegram group and make a request, and I'll be sure to cover the technicals. And there's some very interesting charts today, so without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Cue the intro. Right, before we get started, a bit of, house rules, groundwork. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Would very much appreciate that, and it's all free. Furthermore, if you're new to crypto and you want to learn the fundamentals, the basics on how to trade, how to do technical analysis and fundamental analysis, then go ahead and click on the link below to enroll to the course. And last but not least, if you want to make requests for me to do TEA on certain coins, certain covers, then go ahead and click on the link in the description to join the private Telegram group, which is also free. Okay. With that out of the way, let's get straight into the video and start off with Bitcoin. It's been a very interesting week, to say the least, with Bitcoin. Nani? Of course, all happy, all fun and games, because it's done a new all-time high. I did make a video to cover that recently. Now this one is obviously a bit different to the previous one, because the previous one was after a momentous increase from all the way down at 10k, did a 6x all the way to 60, 65, 64k, and now it's gone and made a new all-time high. But this is after a small run. So let's break down the chart and just keep it nice and simple. So what we can see here is very encouraging. And again, to keep it nice and simple, what we're seeing, let's bring it to the front, is that the previous resistance is holding as support. This is the fundamentals. Resistance becomes support, support becomes resistance. So as long as it stays above this cluster of resistance from 58 to 60,000, that's a very beautiful thing. If we can get a close at this level, then, as I said, there's a good chance for it to stay above this and carry on to even greater heights. We're looking 70, 75k, around that region. So that's the main thing we want to see. But what we could see next week, let's assume it closes above 60. What we could see is a dip further into that area, and then to kind of pick up some liquidity, and then to turn around to the upside. So that could be a possibility. So we don't have to kind of make this too complicated, but this is the main area of support now. And the next areas you can see from the swing lows and the swing highs, we've got 45. This is a major area that it created around March time. So a big swing low. It's going to be important support. You can see here there was a false breakout and then went straight back above. So that's an important area. Also, we have some new areas that could act as support if Bitcoin decides to dip further back into previous price range in this area right here. Could also include this as well, which is just below 51, 52k, and that's the 49k area. So these areas are the important ones. I'd say 52 is probably the next main area of support right now if it decides to dip further into that range. But I think there's a good chance it's going to stay above 60k and carry on. Next, we'll have a look at Ethereum. So let's just break it down. Swing highs right here, nice and easy. Got the main area became was quite an important resistance level. You can see massive turnaround from 3900 4k. And then again in early September. So the fact that it's above that and it's holding, if it can close there's a good chance it's going to carry on to the upside towards 5k. Really? Did it actually make a new all-time high? I think it just matched the all-time high, so I'm not sure if it did or not. But it's probably gonna, if it closes above this, we're gonna definitely see that broken towards 4,500, towards 5k. In terms of support below, we've got this area 3,300. And then just below at 30, 3,050. So these areas are important for Ethereum if it decides to turn around and dip into this area. In between, there isn't much in the way. But as I said, the positive thing, if it closes at this level, then it would mean it's closed above important resistance, and that would become support. However, it doesn't mean it can't go, you can dip in back into this range. So do expect that if it happens. First, let's look at Polkadot. So Polkadot, it's literally on the cusp of creating a new all-time high.
It's over 9,000!
Especially after the bullish news of the parachain launch. Right, this was enough to push it all the way to the edge of the previous all-time high at 46. So just got a little bit more to get to 50. I think it will probably smash 50 and have some kind of blow off top before turning around. Because the reason being is because most of the main cryptos have formed new all-time highs, and Polkadot is one of the only ones that hasn't. Cardano has, not Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cosmos, a lot of these kind of smart chain platforms have created new all-time highs, except Polkadot. So this is definitely next in line to kind of do that, get at least to $50 to $55 before potentially turning around. Now the only thing is, it is below an important resistance level right here. So this area 44, it's just got rejected from there, quite a big rejection, and that's just above a resistance slash support at 42. So if it doesn't stay above there, there is still a couple of areas that I can find support. You can see here, this swing high right here, this could act as support, which you can see already that wick has tapped that. So we could see further move towards that before carrying on to create all-time highs. If that doesn't hold, then it'll probably dip down to this swing high right here. I hope you see in the patterns that all it is looking at the big swings. Those are the important key levels to watch. So if it doesn't hold, then 35 is probably next. Let's look into some of the altcoins. Sentinel. So this is a small cap coin. You can see a massive first wave retraced. Yeah, so first wave correction. You can see it tried to carry on to the upside, but got a massive rejection around 0.044, which is interesting. There isn't many levels in this region, but so it's interesting why it's rejected that area. But in terms of kind of key levels, there isn't too much to go by. It's looking bullish, I would say. Reason being is because you have a massive first wave, a correction, and now it seems to be holding. We want to, of course, see it build upon this and then start to slowly get back to these all-time highs. So far, it's looking good. I am a bit wary of this massive wick though. So again, there isn't too much to go by. What we want to see is, of course, further continuation of this reversal. Now, this is beautiful for a fib retracement to kind of see where the fib levels are. It's literally tapped the 618. So this is an important level. This is a key level where it does tend to turn around. If this wick ends up becoming too much sell side pressure, then we could see it go further down towards 786. If you're interested in this crypto, you know, dollar cost averaging is your best kind of route. But you know, even to add a small bag here, and then let's say dip further to add another bag here, that's a wise move right there. And then hopefully it starts to turn around and go to the upside. So let's see if this ends up being the point of reversal, or is it going to go towards 786. But so far it looks like an interesting chart. I could easily see it do that first rally, correction, and then boom, a second big wave towards the 0.27 or 618 or 786 extension, and that would be a good, if we can get this out, 70%, 90%, 140%, you know, almost a 1.5x, you know, if this is the reversal point. So Solana, I did mention in my private Telegram group in the last week, it was looking very, very interesting, especially on the daily time frame. So at this level, I was I was making a comment or a post at these levels, and then what I said was, this is looking like a bull flag, but it could be a trap, especially after the monstrous run that it's had. However, it did look like a bull trap nonetheless. You can see this a bullish flag, or a pennant should I say, right here. Beautiful kind of test on both the trend line and the counter trend line. And of course what we saw then was a break to the upside, matching the all-time high, and now it seems to be turning around. What we could see is potentially a test of this area right here, so resistance becoming support, and then maybe to build further into the 200s towards 250 would be the next major level. So Solana somehow is able to continue its trend and continue higher, and that's why I said in the post, I said, to me, because of the monstrous run that's been on, this could be a bull trap, meaning, you know, it's looking bullish, it's looking like a bullish chart pattern, but it ends up breaking to the downside. But that's why I always say, just be patient and observe, you know, take your kind of your preconceptions out of it and let the charts tell you what's what. And that's what's happened. It's broken to the upside with a nice move from 170 towards 200. So be patient and observe.
Okay.
On the weekly time frame, just to finish that off, if it closes above this area of 172 right here, then there's a good chance it will continue. Of course, it needs to hold that, maybe retest it, and then carry on going higher. Could also add a resistance at this level right here. Now, the next attempt, it has to break that, because if it doesn't break that, then there's a good chance it's going to be too much sell side pressure, is going to run out of fuel and then turn around. But look at this, massive upside, and then it's still carrying on.
It's over 9,000!
You know, that's why I become doubtful, because of this major run. Next, let's have a look at HBAR, Hedera Ashgraph. So what we got here, again, let's look at the swing highs and swing lows. Beautiful resistance right here, key level. It's made another swing high at 42. Now there's some areas down here as well, and then we got this over here. So now that we've mapped that out, very simple, what we can see is, you know, this was a very nice kind of V-shaped reversal all the way from 17 cents towards 42. So if you caught that reversal, a beautiful 1.3, 1.4x. But at the moment, so it's turned around, reversed from 43, mid to late September, and it's looking like there's a lot of movements going on over here. So it's reversed, found support at this resistance level 0.3, and it's trying to move above. But what we want to see is for it to hold this resistance and turn it into support. At the moment, there's a lot of wicks kind of pushing it down, but it's just above a key level. If you can hold that level, then there's a chance it's going to carry on to the upside and then probably revisit that 0.57 level.
Really?
But the key thing is for it to hold this resistance level. It needs to hold that, turn it into support, and then move to the upside. If it doesn't, then it's probably going to test this level once again, 0.33, and maybe drop down towards 0.25. It has had a massive run, so this could be the end of that run, unless it holds this level and starts building on it. So that's what I want to see. As I said, for the third or fourth time, the key level to look at is this, and maybe as a secondary 0.32, because you can see a lot of times it's tested this level, so it's probably quite important. Not probably, it is quite important. It's even tested once again with these multiple tests right here. So these two levels, very, very important for it to hold and then build upon it. The other thing is all these kind of these, you know, I don't want to say vibrations between these two areas is creating a lot of kind of pressure. It builds momentum, so whichever direction it goes in, whether it's up or down, it's really going to be an explosive move, I would say. So you can see right here, multiple touches, and even this level, multiple touches, which is what we want to see. So when it does break out to the upside or to the downside, is going to be quite a big move, I would say. So let's see. Hopefully, I would say the kind of the momentum of the market, I would say, is probably bullish. It's going to be a bullish breakout, especially now that it's kind of had a breather. You know, managed to catch up. All the bears are out of it now. They've taken profit. There's a good chance it's going to go up, but we want to, of course, see the breakout first before we place our chips. The next chart to look at is Axie Infinity. Very big with NFTs. Very interesting chart. Very clear levels, as you can see. Clear tops and clear bottoms. So very easy to map this out. This is a beautiful chart. Very simple. So all we need to do is map that out. You can see they respect the levels. So you can see already a small bottom has formed here and right here. So if you're talking about patterns, I mean, you can't see a clearer pattern than this. Rally, correction, create a top, broke that top with a massive bang, made a top, corrected, small bottom, and then bang, broke that top, broke that resistance with big rally, again found resistance, create a little bottom. Is it going to do it for the first, second, fourth time? Is it going to break this resistance with a massive bang? It's hard to say. You would, as a betting man, you would say, okay, well, it's done it 3 times, surely the 4th time. But at the same time, it can't be that predictable, surely. But what we want to see, of course, is if it breaks this resistance, 137, and then holds it with conviction, then I'd say there's a good chance it's going to carry on. To be honest, there isn't much to say about that. You can see the patterns very clearly. So what you want to wait for is for it to break this level. Now, of course, you can see here when it broke that level is with one massive candle, but this is the weekly time frame. These are weekly time frame candles. So if you're looking at it from the daily, then once it breaks that daily, the resistance on the daily time frame, that's when you want to jump in, maybe for it to hold that as support and then jump in. But very clear patterns. Of course, here you can see 3 weeks of correction, so potentially you could see maybe a further correction before it jumps up, but just wait for that resistance to be broken and then just get all the way in. I'd say the next level to watch out for with this, so 150, just went past 150 for it to reverse. 200 surely is going to be the next major level, so watch out for that level if you're looking to jump into Axie Infinity. So Cardano, KDA, this was actually brought to my attention a little while ago by one of the members, and these are the previous drawings. I do remember seeing this and thinking, what a beautiful rounding formation. There's a good chance it's going to carry on to the upside once it breaks that rounding formation. And wow, ooh wee, look at that, 6x all the way to the top right here. So it's a beautiful thing to see these kinds of charts. So what we have now is obviously a massive green candle, but there's no key levels to kind of look at. So what we want to do is kind of draw this out. In case it reverses, there is still a chance for reversal, and what goes up must come down and correct. In terms of the next key levels, so you can see it's already rejected $7. So we just mark that out. Now on the weekly time frame, we can't really see much. Like there's not much to kind of go off and analyze apart from this major top right here at 220. There isn't much to go by on the weekly time frame. So let's move to the daily time frame and see if there's anything else we can see. So on the daily, we can see that there was top created around 375. So we can see that could probably become support if it reverses and corrects. Even there is some key levels around 225. I think we've already mentioned that, 220. So again, if it reverses, then there's a good chance it will come down. Now, I think there is more chance, or there's quite a big chance of a reversal rather than a continuation of this rally. especially after this parabolic move. So we could probably expect a good, maybe, I don't know, 50%, maybe even more, 50-60% correction. So firstly down to 375, and then potentially down all the way down to $3.
You dare say that to me?
So if you are a owner of this coin, then it makes sense to take some profit. One of my key phrases is always take profit, especially after big moves. So good 20%, you know, take that off the table if I were you. Of course, it's not financial advice. Do what you want, but after big moves, like for example, you can see here after this massive move, it corrected. How much did it correct? From the top to the bottom, 43%. So if you had taken profits at this level, you could have reinvested some back there. Same with here, you know, massive move from 225 all the way to $7. It makes sense to take some profit. You know, wait until at least 50%, which would be around this level, 352, and then maybe get back in. If it carries on to the upside, which to be honest I'm doubtful of, but if it does, so it can always do that, then we go towards the next big even numbers, which is 750 or $8. That's going to be the next big round numbers which we'll aim for. So we can mark that out right there. Now a nice quick look at Moonriver. Again, shout out to Jules. I always like to give credit where credit's due. A nice correction. You know, I did add bags at these two levels, so on average probably around 300, and you saw a massive candle from that bottom to 245 all the way to the top, which is a nice 60-70% move. Once it breaks this resistance, of course not guaranteed, but if it does, you're probably going to see a massive candle like this, maybe like a retest of support, but then a massive candle up towards $500, towards 600, maybe 750. So that's what I'm expecting, a third big move past resistance all the way into the stratosphere. I might even add another bag at this point because I think it's still a good buy. It's still got a lot of potential, and it looks like it really wants to go to the moon. So of course you want to average in some more buys. Dollar cost average is your best bet, and then I'll probably take some profit in this area right here. So Moonriver doing very well.
Okay.
Next and the last one to cover, it will be synthetics. So synthetics, I'm going to leave this on there. It's looking very interesting. It's like a massive pennant move. You can see this trend line respecting it beautifully, and then this counter trend line really acting as strong resistance. Now it has broken to the downside, so this could end up badly and move down towards 760 and that support level. But if it manages to get some kind of liquidity, maybe a quick wick down and then move up, if it manages to get above this counter trend line and break it, you know, it could be a very big move for SNX towards back to all-time highs at 25. So if that were to happen, that would be a nice 1.5x. But at the moment it's looking more bearish than bullish, so let's see how it performs going forward. Actually, if I move this down just a little bit, just kind of touch that exactly. So you can say it's on the border of breaking below it, or it's just above it. Either or, it's looking more bearish than bullish at the moment. It needs to break that counter trend line and rocket to the upside. So if it does, I'll keep you posted. But SNX is looking interesting. You see it wants to break that. Many wicks have prevented it, or a lot of selling has happened to prevent it. But if it managed to get above the counter trend line, it could be a massive bullish rally to the upside. So that'll be it for this week. Hopefully you got some value from that. If you have any requests going forward, as I said, join my private Telegram groups, completely free, and send me your DMs. With that in mind, peace. Have a good weekend.